Hey everybody, it's Nerdy30. Today's video is just a simple, I had a bunch of spare parts and I haven't built a computer in a while, so I put together a system. It's pretty straightforward. I got this system off of the Shop Goodwill website, uh, specifically for the i5 2500K. I have some testing that I want to do with this legendary processor, and this is actually the first time I've ever actually owned one, so I'm super excited to do more videos on this. Now, I will just be straight up front with you. I had a much better graphics card lined up for this, but for some reason my RX 580 8GB just quit working that I was going to pair with it, and the best card that I had that the power supply for the system would fit was what you'll see in the video. So sit back and enjoy. If you like this kind of content, please consider giving the channel a like and subscribe, and watch some of the other videos I've done. I'm just trying to get back to basics with making some fun PC content. I hope you enjoy. So I'm actually really excited to have this build done because this case is a case that I have built in one time before, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I had found a custom built computer in this case with a FX series processor on eBay years ago that was in absolutely horrendous condition that I restored and paired it with a 1063 gig, and it was actually a really good system. I had been on the lookout for this case for a long time, and I stumbled across this iBuyPower pre-built that had an FX 4300, I believe, and a Radeon 7000 series card, and I had to buy the whole system just for the case. First up, as usual, is the Unigine Heaven 4.0 benchmark at 1080p resolution and the low preset. All the games tested today are at the 1080p resolution, 100% render scale, and I was pleasantly surprised with how well the i5 2500 handled everything at stock speeds. So the first game that we tested was Beam NG 1080p at the Steam Deck preset, and we averaged 130 to 135 FPS. Now, the games were all tested running Windows 11 through Rufus, and all the screen recordings were just caught running the Xbox built-in screen recording for Windows. As you can see through most of the games, I think we really are at the point where a quad core is just going to struggle. There were some games I tried that I couldn't even get to launch, and as you'll see in some of the later games, there was a lot of times that we were just at 100% CPU usage, and the GPU was just hanging out at like 60 or 70%, which I was kind of surprised that the 1050 Ti had more gas than the 2500K. Now, maybe overclocking would help a little bit, but I really think the best upgrade for the system would be a 2600K or a 2700K. Next up is Doom Eternal at 1080p with the medium preset and average FPS of 60. Now, I do believe this is the first time I've actually benchmarked this game on the channel, so if I have before, please comment below. Now, I will say I was quite shocked with how fast-paced this game was right here going through the tutorial levels. I grew up playing Doom, and I don't remember it being anywhere near as intense as this was, and I'm sure this isn't even an intense area, but I don't usually play games like this, but I actually had a fun time playing through this, so I think I'm going to put a little bit of time into this to see if I can get into the storyline and get a little bit farther into the game, so I'm not having to edit around tutorials and how-tos just to get some footage. But the system ran great. It looked good. As you can see, the GPU usage was at a constant 100%, and the 2500K was just chugging along. As this is an older AAA game, though, it doesn't surprise me that it ran so well on this processor. So as I was running around, I saw this guy and was kind of like, whoa, what is this? Now, I will say the thing about this game that absolutely did hook me is the absolutely ridiculous, over-the-top kill sequences from using the special kill emotes, like shoving the grenade in this guy's mouth. Definitely a game I think I'm going to spend some more time on. And if there's any games that you think I should be looking to add to the benchmark suite or would just be a good play, comment it down below. I read and respond to every comment. Next up was Rocket League, 1080p, the high preset, and we averaged approximately 120 FPS the entire time I played this game. Thought it'd be kind of neat to include the first shot I made of the benchmark series for this game. This game I played for like 2 hours while I was capturing footage for this, and I absolutely had a blast playing Rocket League. And I have actually found myself keeping this computer on my workbench way longer than I planned on because of how well it ran Rocket League. I found myself just coming out to change over some laundry in my garage and sitting down and playing Rocket League for a half hour. Either way, you know, if you like the game or not, this system was perfectly playable for esports titles like this, and I think you'll be surprised with some of the more current esports games that we can play. Next up was Fortnite, 1080p, DirectX 11, low preset with all settings to low minus far view distance, and I locked the FPS to 60, which is quite common for Fortnite, is what you're seeing here with the stuttering as the drop-in is loading in map resources and allocations. But once I got on the ground, it was actually pretty playable. And I really didn't see it dip much below that 60. There was a little bit of times where that 100% utilization on the processor was causing some stuttering, and I played 4 or 5 matches on this system, and what I found is that is typical with Fortnite is if you play more than one game, after the first round or two, and the system has rendered and loaded all the resources in the background, the system will smooth out and the gameplay is pretty good. This was definitely a console level experience, I think, and it was perfectly playable. I definitely lost this match shown here just due to my own skill set, and you'll see there were some stutters, but I mean 85% of it was playable. And once again, once you get past that first drop in where it loads in all the background resources, it was just fine. So I don't believe this was an actual player, and as you can see, the stuttering of that 100% CPU usage did hinder my playing, but I did not die. So this leads me to believe that this was actually just like a NPC. But I got the kill in the end, and I think once again we're at the point where 4-core processors are just not going to cut it for anything much more than a dedicated esports machine. Now, for this particular system, I paid $30 for the base system, and I kept everything out of it except for the case, which was really trashed and gross. I sold the 2 terabyte hard drive for $30. I bought the 1050 Ti for $40, and literally transferred everything over. So for under $100, we got a really good console-like experience. Now, the game that I was super excited to see ran very well on this computer was CS2 at the 1080p preset, and 140 FPS was our average. Now, for some reason with this game, I cannot get the overlay for Afterburner and RTSS to show up. I have been down the rabbit hole. I have tried to reconfigure some files that I was reading about, turning off overlays, and going into Steam and making sure there's not multiple overlay softwares, and I just cannot get it to run on the screen recording. But I had it on the corner while I was playing, so I was able to see it. So you're going to have to just kind of trust me, bro, on this one. But as you can see, the game played real well. The CPU handled it well, and I don't necessarily get the point of this game. It's not that fun to me, honestly, but it's popular. And then finally, the last game of today's benchmark suite is Sons of the Forest, and I do know for a fact that this is the first time we have featured this game on the channel. This was played at the 1080p resolution, I believe a medium preset, and we seem to get right at that 30 FPS. The GPU utilization was 100%, and the CPU hovered most of the time between 75 and 85, kind of depending on the terrain. But the game looked good, and I didn't quite understand the point of it. I was just kind of fumbling through this opening area, and I mean, assets loaded in, there wasn't a ton of pop in, and it really wasn't stuttery at all. But this is an older popular game, so I can only imagine that if this game had come out in 2026 with the modern standards, the system absolutely would not be able to handle it. But that's about all I've got for this system today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I do have more plans with the i5 2500K. I plan on using this system to venture into some overclocking, and I want to get a i7 2600 or a 2700 to really try to get as much budget performance out of the system as we can, and a better graphics card. And then maybe compare just the old school king of overclocking to a much more modern overclock, and see really how far we've come in 10 or 12 years of processor improvements. But I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry that it's taken so long to get these videos out, but I absolutely was super excited to get this one made. So if you like budget PC content, please consider giving the channel a like and subscribe, and comment down below. I read and respond to every comment. This is Jake with Nerding in My 30, and I'm signing out.